Welcome, everyone, to virtual South American tour. Today, we're taking a trip to Colombia. Uh, Fasten your seatbelts. We don't need a plane, though. We're going to get to go by virtue of Zoom. This program is being recorded and will be posted on the Arlington County 55 Plus YouTube channel as time permits. Our speaker will be spotlighted so that she'll be the only one who appears in the recording. You're viewing this program on the Virtual Center for Active Adults VCAA platform. VCAA is a partnership of Northern Virginia jurisdictions that provide free virtual programming for older adults and adults with disabilities in our area. Today's program is part of a wonderful series where you can travel virtually to various Spanish-speaking countries. Your tour guide for this series is going to be Ashley Gomez Figueredo, who is the Lubber Run 55 Plus Center Director. We're delighted that she is doing these programs for us. We're going to learn so much about these countries, and today, Colombia especially. So thank you so much, Ashley. Take it away.
Awesome. Well, hello, everyone. Like Sheila said, I'm Ashley. I work at Lubber Run, so if you go there, you probably see me all the time. But today, let's do a virtual American tour to Colombia. So let's get on that plane. That'll take us around 5.5 hours to 6 hours to get here, or to get there, right? Because we're going to Colombia. From here, that's if you take a direct flight. So you can make stops on the way if you want, but direct flight will run you like 5.5 to 6 hours. So today we're just going to do an overview of Colombia, just kind of touch a couple points like the history, the culture, food, geography, politics, and where you might want to go travel. So let's get started. Let's do a little bit of history. There's a lot of words on here, but we're just going to go year by year until 1903, that Colombia became an independent country and got separated by Panama. So let's start with 1819. Colombia effectively achieved its independence from Spain. So a lot of Latin American countries were being independent through Spain. So you'll see that a lot in our little series. And then in 1822, the United States recognized Colombia's independence when President Monroe received a Colombian diplomatic representative in Washington. And in 1823, the United States established a diplomatic mission in Colombia. So at this time, the Colombian Federation included the territories presently known today as Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Panama. Then moving on to 1830, Ecuador and Venezuela left the Colombian Federation, but U.S. relations with the government in Bogota continued uninterrupted. So that kind of keeps going. 1830 to 1856, the country was known as New Granada, which, fun fact, I didn't know that myself. And then, because we always just hear Colombia. And from 1856 to 1863, the country was known as the Grenadine Confederation, right? And then in 1863, the country became the United States of Colombia. Then in 1886, the country changed its name to the Republic of Colombia, which is what it's known for today. And then we already went through 1903, which is the separation between Colombia and Panama. Yes. So where is Colombia located? So Colombia is located in the northern South America. So it's also nicknamed the gateway to South America. So if you see on the little map I have on the right-hand side, I don't know if my camera is blocking it, but on the right-hand side, you will see Colombia and then Panama really, really close to each other. And the little line over here is what separates both. So that is the gateway to South America. It also borders the Caribbean Sea between Panama and Venezuela, and then the North Pacific Ocean between Ecuador and Panama. The area total is comparative to twice the size of Texas, so it's fairly big. Climate, for those of you that like warm weather and tropical weather, it's tropical along the coast and eastern plains, and it's cooler in the highlands, so it makes a great vacation spot. Its terrain can go into extremes. So through the center, you have snow-covered volcanoes and mountains of the Andes. Then you also have tropical beaches that line the north and west of the country. And then you have deserts in the north and also grasslands. They're called Los Llanos that are in the east. So you get a little bit of everything when you visit Colombia. You just have to see what region you're visiting. Again, dense forest fill the Colombian Amazon basin, which takes up nearly the entire southern half of Colombia. And in the northwest Colombia, it's warm, wet, jungle-filled, called the Choco, that reaches across the Panama border. And the highest elevation point in Colombia is Pico Cristobal Colón, which is around 18,799 feet, which is really, really high. And then my fun fact is that Colombia is the 5th largest country in Latin America, and it's home to the world's 2nd largest population of Spanish-speaking people. It is very big. And then we have geography. We kind of touched base on it of the lands and all of that. So what does that give us as resources? So Colombia is known for coal, gold, petroleum, emeralds, iron, ore, nickel, copper. They have a hydropower and natural gas as their natural resources. And 37% of their land is used agriculturally. Their population distribution, the majority of the population lives in north and west, where there are agricultural opportunities and natural resources. So there is a picture here that kind of shows them working out, and here they're collecting sugarcane, which is another one, but it's not as prominent. So Colombia's biggest trading partner is actually the United States, which buys 40% of the country's exports. Colombia sends a variety of items overseas, including obviously coffee, bananas, oil, coal, gold, platinum, and emeralds. So if you like Colombian coffee, we get that a lot here. And then we're going on to the government, just slightly touch base on it. Again, since we talked about it in the history part of this PowerPoint, its country name is the Republic of Colombia, but we just know it as Colombia. They have a presidential republic, so their president is elected every 4 years. Their capital is Bogota, and they have 32 departments within Colombia. So that's all of them. The highlighted ones would obviously be Bogota, which is the capital. Then we also have Norte de Santander, and there was another one that I can't remember. Oh, the Amazonas. So those are kind of like the points that you should probably visit, because they have a whole bunch of stuff that I'll talk about later. Citizenship. So more about government. So you can become a citizen obviously by birth and descent, where one parent must be a citizen or a permanent resident. They do recognize dual citizenship, which is really cool. And in order to have residency, you're required to, residency requirements for naturalization is 5 years. And then as you can see on your right-hand side, we'll talk about the flag a little bit. So as you can see, there are 3 colors. There's the yellow, the blue, and the red. So the 3 main colors of the band of Gran Colombia, the short-lived South American Republic that broke up in 1830. So the interpretations, the yellow represents the gold in Colombia's land that symbolizes sovereignty and justice. The blue represents the seas on Colombia's shores, which symbolizes loyalty and vigilance. The red represents the blood spilled in attaining freedom, which symbolizes valor and generosity. Its alternative descriptions are that each color represents the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Their national anthem is El Himno Nacional de la República de Colombia. I wish I would have just had a little recording of it, but that's what it's called. And fun fact, the flag is very, very similar to the flag of Ecuador, which is longer and bears the Ecuadorian coat of arms superimposed in the center. So you'll see Ecuador's flag be a little similar, just there's just that symbol in the middle that Colombia doesn't have. And then their economy. So it's been growing through the mid-20th century. Inflation and unemployment grew in subsequent decades as the growth rate declined. And its thriving market economy is based on oil, mining, agriculture, and manufacturing. I think I touched a base on the agricultural products, but they also have sugarcane, oil, palm fruit, milk, rice, potatoes, bananas, and plantains are a key part of their what they eat, and then maize and chicken. So we go to people and culture. So the people, Colombia's people are varied as it's landscaped. So most citizens are descended from three ethnic groups: Indians, African people brought to Colombia to work as slaves, and European settlers. This rich culture mix makes the country's food, music, dance, art diverse and unique. So there's a lot of festivals, a lot of dancing, lots of food, which we will touch base on. Yeah, so their daily life, people are often known by the administrative department they live in. So if they live in Bogota, they'd be Bogotanos. Again, with Santander, so depending on where you live, that's how people will know you, and that's how you describe where you're from. The Colombian class structure is still based on a combination of occupation, wealth, and ethnicity. And for most Colombians, family is the basic element of community and social order. Families are very close and they stay close. That's very, very common in Latin American cultures for families to stay together, even when kids grow their own families as well. So family is very, very important. And then sports and recreation. They have fairs to celebrate occurrences of local importance. So they have the pre-Lenten Carnival, which promotes popular tunes, dances, and traditional costumes. And then obviously, it's widely played and watched, which is soccer. Soccer is very important. Yeah, soccer is number one in Colombia. So there are other sports that people play, but you will probably just hear Colombians talk about soccer and their teams. And then for the carnival, it looks really cool. I've had friends that go during Carnaval and they have a blast. There is just so much culture, color. There's a lot of things that we probably don't see here in the United States that make it very, very unique and a really great trip to go to. Let's get to the good part. Let's get to the food. So these are just some because I couldn't fit all of them because there are so many yummy dishes. But then you have bandeja paisa, which is basically rice, beans, ground meat, fried egg, avocado, and plantains. This is a staple of Colombian cuisine. So even here in the United States, if you go to like a Colombian restaurant or a Latin American restaurant, you can find this here. It's also this picture up at the top. Yummy. Fills you up, that's for sure. And then we have arepas. Arepas are my favorite food. They're a corn cake that's often filled with either cheese, meat, or vegetables. Sometimes they make it out of pollo or chicken, but I have not tasted that one. And it's a popular street food. You can see that in that second picture that I posted. like I said, it's street food, so it's very easy to eat. They have them around here too. So if you ever go see a Nats game, they have a little stand right there that sells arepas, and you should definitely try it. And then we have another dish called ajiaco, and it's a traditional Colombian soup that is made out of chicken, three different types of potatoes, corn, guascas, which is like a, I can't think of it now because I can only think of it in Spanish, and a local herb. So it's often served again with avocados or capers and sour cream. That's that third picture. It's just a really, really hearty soup. And then the last one is kind of like a dessert. They're called obleas. Obleas are a traditional Colombian dessert that consists of two thin wafers made from cornstarch, and they're filled with sweet caramel sauce, um, arequipe or jam, and it's all just sweet. Everything is very, very sweet. And they also have them made from passion fruit or guanabana or guava paste. And they're often sold by street vendors and are very popular during the festivals and celebrations. They're a very delicious portable snack that can be enjoyed on the go. And that's that last picture. If you like sweets like I do, you will definitely like that, the obleas. And then we have drinks. Drinks, very colorful drinks. So the first one we have is agua panela, which is sugarcane water. It's very, very common to drink that in Colombia. Aguardiente, it's an alcoholic beverage that's made of anise flavored sugarcane. So anytime you go to Colombia or a Colombian restaurant, you will probably see that around everywhere. Then there is a fruit drink called champús. It's this one over here. That's just made of various different fruits, pineapple, anything you can really think of goes in this. And then we have down here is the chocolate con queso, which is hot chocolate with cheese. It might seem like a strange combination to put together, but it actually is very, very delicious. Some people even dunk the cheese into the hot chocolate and have it melt, and they'll just eat it like that. It's a great experience. You should try it. And then obviously Colombian coffee, because who doesn't love coffee? Nothing really special to, oh no, my screen, nothing really special to that. It's just Colombian coffee, one of the best coffees, for those that drink it. And then you have some sodas. The most, the brand that's used over there the most is called Postobon. And it's just sodas of different flavors. You have apple, grape, orange, lemon, pineapple, anything you can think of. And then there is also cola champan, which is this like singular one over here. That one you can also get in stores here, and it tastes really good. It kind of tastes, actually, I'm not going to tell you how it tastes because my taste buds must be different than yours, but it tastes really good, and just take my word for it. And then you have limonada de coco, which is basically lemonade with coconut, which I've personally never tried, but a lot of people from Colombia drink it. It sounds very, very interesting. So if you try it, let me know. But yeah, those are kind of like the main drinks that Colombia has. All of them sound really, really good. Coffee, who doesn't like coffee, right? And let's see some travel, right? So let's plan to stay for a couple days and explore as much as possible. So when should you visit? You can visit anytime, but if you want to avoid the rain as much as possible, anywhere between December and March would be the best time to go. Keeping in mind that in February, that's when they do all the celebrations and Carnaval, especially in the town called Barranquilla. So if you want to go see all the celebrations, suggest going in February. If you just want to do a whole bunch of sightseeing, anywhere between December and March, it would be the best time to go. So where to visit? I added a couple of places, but obviously there's probably more. So you have Medellin. which is more trendy cafes, restaurants, bars, and they have very impressive public transportation, which includes several cable cars. So if you like taking pictures, that's probably a really good place to go. Or even try new restaurants or cafes. That would be a great place to visit. Then you have obviously the capital, so Bogota, which has great city views. It has a historic neighborhood called Candelaria. And while you're there, you should also visit the Museo del Oro, which is the gold museum. Definitely visit if museums are your thing. Go. It's in the capital. Yeah. And then most people don't know this, but you can also visit a part of the Amazon rainforest. And the perks of that is that there are fewer people, so you have a much better chance of encountering wildlife because it's not widely known that that part of the Amazon is in Colombia. Not a lot of people, there are not a lot of tourists around, so it makes really good for sightseeing. And then you have Cartagena, which is the most colorful hotspot year round. You walk along age-old Spanish colonial walls, and and if you can stay at a restored mansion for a look at the city's past, which I found really, really cool that you can do. And then you have Cali. Cali is where you go to learn salsa. They have salsa all the time. So if you want to go dancing, if that's your thing, Cali is the place to go. They will teach you salsa. Here's a kind of a picture when I searched up Cali. This is what came up. So I'm assuming they have indoor, outdoor, anything you can imagine. You will come out and a dancer after visiting Cali. Um, so yeah, so you can see kind of all the pictures that I have. The cable cars, I think, would be a really cool experience. And then just really nice places to take pictures. Yeah. What to pack? So when traveling to Colombia, it's very like warm weather, but if you also travel to those places that can get a little bit colder, like in the mountains or anything like that, just prepare for any type of weather depending on your itinerary when you go visit. So clothes for warm days, a light jacket would be nice. Sometimes at night it could get a little bit cold. Um, Again, if you're going to travel to different terrains or different areas, hiking essentials is very necessary. So good walking shoes would also be really good. And then what's the best way to get around? Public transportation is probably the best way. But you also have your local taxi. You can also like Uber around there, but be very cautious when Ubering outside of the United States. Also, so just make sure to just be cautious because you're in a different country. And then I think that's it. They do have, like I said, public transportation, buses. Um, and then they have these really fun like taxi buses over here on the right-hand side that you can take as well. That's for traveling, I think. Yeah. And that was it. Thank you for traveling with me. We got a glimpse of Colombia, and I can answer questions to the best of my ability if you have any. If you don't, we'll travel next time. And Sheila, do you know where we're traveling next to?
Yes,
Next
I
time?
do. Our next trip is going to be to Argentina on
Ooh,
July 18th,
we're going to Argentina.
from 12:45 to 1:30.
Yes, yes, yes,
I have a question,
yes.
and I'm going to ask this for every presentation that you have.
Sure.
And my question is this: where is the best place in Arlington to get the food? And again, I'm gonna probably ask you that question every
Okay.
time. And I know that you probably only know certain areas, but when it comes to really ethnic style Colombian food,
Yes.
where would be the best place to go?
That's a great question, and let me search it up because I know where it is. I just don't know the name of it.
Ah, okay.
Uh, okay. Oh, wait, no. You said in Arlington, right?
Yeah, because we live in Arlington. I live in Arlington.
Yeah.
Or maybe both Arlington and Alexandria, maybe, because Alexandria is just close by. And they probably have some also in DC. But then again, you have to cross the river all the way going to
That's
DC.
true. That's very
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Because the only one I can think of is all the way in Maryland, so that doesn't really help you at all.
Oh, well, give it
Um,
to us anyway if that's if that's what you if that's what you have.
it's which one is it? It's called
Is it,
La Fonda Paisa, and it's in Silver Spring.
did you say La Honda?
La Fonda, Fonda, Paisa, Paisa. Has really good ones. Like I said, if you're looking for more street food, I know maybe some of you go to Nats games. They do have a bunch of vendors there that do
Ah,
Colombian foods.
okay.
So always look at that. I'm trying to think if there's another one that I've been to recently. There used to be a really, really good one on well now is known as Langston Boulevard, but I think they closed a couple years back. Yeah, I think they closed. I'm trying to think what it was called. But Colombian food you can find basically anywhere. I'm trying to see because all of the ones I see are not are not here.
Oh,
Um,
so they're in Maryland. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, most of them you'll see in Maryland or DC.
Okay.
Like I said, I only knew of the one that was on Langston Boulevard, but I'm pretty sure it closed years ago.
Oh, that's
Um,
bad. Okay.
yeah, it was on like Langston Boulevard and George Mason. It's that little shopping center in front of it. There
Okay.
used to be a Colombian restaurant there.
I'm gonna ask this question for every presentation.
Good.
I'm
That
sorry.
I am glad you're gonna do that so I can have those recommendations ready for you.
Okay. Because I'm also an immigrant, so that's why I like to
Yeah.
eat. Yeah, I like to eat where the real food is. You know,
Oh
whether
yes.
it's an establishment that's well known or whether it's just a hole in the wall. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wants the
Yeah, for sure.
authentic food. We have someone in the chat who's saying they go to Nats games, so then you should be able to find some.
Yes.
some
Definitely
things.
try it out. I think they're new. But it's really yummy.
Good. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are there areas where there's a large Colombian population in our region? Like a part
Yes.
of Arlington, or do they?
I would say
send it-
more of them are based off of Maryland. I see a lot of people in Maryland. I know a lot of Colombians that are also like around the Springfield area, like
Huh.
out there. But Maryland would probably be the place that you'll see more of them, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely check out that place I said, but also just sometimes if you sometimes if you like type it on Google, you can see the reviews before even trying it. But I recommend trying la bandeja paisa, and it has a little bit of everything. Really, really yummy. Yeah,
Okay.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any final questions? No, I don't see anything in the chat. If you want to just unmute yourself, ask away, this is your opportunity. Okay. I don't think we've got any more questions. This was fabulous, Ashley. Thank you so much for sharing
Yes.
this
Thank you.
valuable information.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate- We get to take a little
Ashley?
virtual trip to
Yes.
Colombia. It's
Can you
exciting.
think of any famous entertainers that were from Colombia that we might
Yeah.
recognize?
Do you know who Shakira is?
Ah,
Yeah.
she's Colombian. Okay.
Shakira is Colombian. I'm trying to think. I don't know if you know who Carlos Vives is. He's another singer. He's Colombian. Um, Pretty sure. That's a great question. I just know Shakira because she is widely known.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who else? Do we know Gabriel Garcia Marquez? He writes
Gabriel.
100 Years of Solitude, the book.
Huh.
He's from there. Sofia Vergara, we know her, another
Yeah.
actress.
Sofia Vergara is Colombian?
She's Colombian. Yep.
Huh.
She's Colombian. Who else would be? There's a lot of Latin artists that are now coming out from Colombia, which is really nice to see. Um, yeah. And then you have your soccer players that are kind of famous out there because they also play for like Real Madrid and Barcelona and all the other known ones. But those would be the main ones I think that you would probably know. But a lot of people are coming out from Colombia. So if you ever want to like listen to music, there's a lot of great artists that do different types and styles of music from Colombia. Again, originating with salsa. Salsa is a big one. So it's really good.
Another question.
Yeah.
Do you have immigrants from Venezuela coming to Colombia to stay? Or some of the other South American countries? Or
Do
do
we
they
have-
just pass through?
Are you asking if there are like Colombian immigrants here?
No, I'm talking about immigrants from other South American countries who come to Colombia and stay.
Oh,
Oh.
that I wouldn't know, but I'm assuming so. Maybe not at as much as like no, I would say no. I'm gonna just keep it as no to not confuse it because I will keep talking and then just confuse myself and everyone else. So no.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
We do have someone commenting in the chat that pre-pandemic, lots of Venezuelans and Ecuadorians lived there. Let me just pull that up again. I
Oh,
lost
that's
it.
good to know.
Yeah, lived there then, before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, the pandemic probably caused a whole wave of stuff. So
And what is a good coffee brand from Colombia? That's a good question.
oh, that's a
Yeah, you're
great
right.
question.
Yeah.
Hold on, coffee because I can see. I'm a very visual person, so I can see it, but I can't actually like, okay, do we know what Café Bustelo is? So like
Yes.
yellow packaging, that's from Colombia. I would say I think that's the one that you can actually get here without like having to dig through like different grocery stores and stuff. So Café Bustelo is from Colombia.
How to spell it? We have a
Oh
question.
yeah,
How
that would yeah.
Bustelo.
So Bustelo is Bustelo. Bustelo. And fun fact, if you have a Keurig, they make the little cups now with that. The little K-cups.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah,
Great questions.
that is a good question, everyone. One thing I wanted to say before we hop off the Zoom is that if you ever want to try like Colombian foods, like any Latin American grocery store has a lot of their obviously it gets a lot imported a lot, so you'll see a bunch of snacks too, which are really nice to try. Guava paste is very popular in Colombia too, and they sell that here. If you ever go to Food Star, they sell a whole bunch of Colombian stuff there, including like dulce de leche, if we know what that is, like caramel. So snacks and stuff you'll see a lot of if you go to like Food Star or the European market on, is that Pershing, I think, or whatever that street is. But you can get all of that there. They tend to have a lot of Colombian products.
May I say something?
Yes.
You know that food store that is right across from Arlington Mill? If you walk over to
Yes.
this side, they have a lot of South American things there that they sell.
Oh, yes,
Maybe,
that's Mega Mart. Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's Mega Mart. Maybe they have some of those things there.
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah,
anything
okay.
that sells like Food Star, Mega Mart, the European one on Pershing that I keep saying in Washington Boulevard, I think it's in the corner. They'll all sell snacks and all of that. So feel free to try the snacks. And if you're here next time with me and we talk about Argentina, tell me if you tried them because it would be really cool.
Yeah, we have a question. I think you've just answered it, but someone is asking where are the grocery stores where they sell Colombian or other Latin?
Oh yeah. So
You just
like I
covered.
said, a Food Star, Mega Mart, those are the closest one to here. So
Yeah, especially
easily,
the Mega Mart.
yeah, especially Mega Mart because it's on Columbia Pike. The Food Star is on Route 7 and Carling Springs. Like if you go all down Carling Springs, it'll be there. And that I keep saying the European market. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, please let me know because I know it's in a corner and there's a gas station right in front of it.
It's called Food Star.
No, the one I'm talking about, it's called like European Mart or something like that. It's on
Okay.
Pershing and Washington Boulevard. Like I can see it in my head, but I'm the worst at giving directions. I think no, that one's not. Oh, it's called European Food Import Export Inc. It's on doo-doo-doo.
Have the address, somebody is saying 2700 North
Yep.
Pershing.
Yes, look at that. I was
Wow.
kind of right.
All right. You're right on the money.
Right on the money. They have a whole bunch of
What is the name again?
the European Foods Import Export Inc. Very long name. But it has foods that you wouldn't that probably you can't find at like Food Star and Mega Mart. Like it has like Holy Grail stuff, which is really cool. Yeah. So try that place out. They have a bunch of goodies over there.
Yeah, I love how we gravitated to the food. Definitely most
Food is
important.
essential. We love food.
This is definitely the most important topic.
It is.
Okay, well, if there are no further questions, I guess we will close up the meeting. I would like to thank you so much, Ashley. This was fabulous. Please join us for the next session on Argentina on July 18th. You will receive the link if you register. You'll get it a few days before the program. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Ashley, again. This was
Thank you, Ashley.
Yes, of course. Enjoy the rest of your day.